morning, T-Wolves. I'm Eva.
And I'm Emma.
And this is T-Wolf Television for Tuesday, September 11th. Interested in trying out for the boys basketball team? If so, there's a mandatory player and parent meeting tonight at 7 p.m. in the Little Theater. They will go over important information about open gyms, workouts, and other basketball requirements. Make sure you and a parent are there.
Good luck to our fall sports teams today. Girls tennis travels to Maple Mountain, girls soccer plays here at home in our first region game against Skyridge, and volleyball takes on Alta here at home. Good luck to all of you.
On September 11, 2001, 19 militants associated with the Islamic extremist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 airplanes and carried out suicide attacks against targets in the United States. 2 of the airplanes were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. A 3rd plane hit the Pentagon just outside Washington, D.C., and the 4th plane crashed in a field in Pennsylvania. 2,996 people were killed in the 9/11 attacks, including the 19 terrorist hijackers aboard the 4 airplanes. We leave you today with a short presentation titled 9/11 Remembered, produced by Jackson Newell and Logan Steed.
Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
It is lunchtime in London, 5 a.m. in Los Angeles, and 8 a.m. here in New York, live from the CNN Financial News headquarters.
It is beautiful outside, perfect September day with lots of sunshine. Oh, would you look at Washington, huh? I'm going outside today.
This is CNN breaking news.
This just in, we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There is a major incident in Lower Manhattan.
We just got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion at the World Trade Center.
I was waiting at a table and I literally saw it seemed to be like a small plane. I just heard a couple noises. It looked like it bounced off the building, and then I just saw a huge ball of fire on top, and then the smoke seemed to simmer down, and it just a lot of smoke was coming out, and that's pretty much the extent of what I saw.
I heard first an explosion, and I just figured that it was a plane passing by. Then all of a sudden stuff just started falling, like bricks and paper and everything. And so I just kind of ran inside to get away from the falling debris and glass and so forth. Then after everything stopped, because it was falling in the street and the cars were crashing into each other. And then when it kind of stopped, I heard a guy screaming. And when I looked over, there was this guy that was on fire.
We just had a plane crash into Level 4 of the World Trade Center. The World Trade Center, tower number 1, is on fire. The whole outside of the building was just send every available ambulance to the World Trade Center now.
I just wanted to let you know I love you, and I'm stuck in this building in New York. There's lots of smoke, and I just wanted you to know that I love you always.
Get into the cockpit is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
I've got the flight attendant on the line with one of our agents.
Okay.
Cap's still on the security, okay, Betty? You're doing a great job. Just stay calm, okay?
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit. Right, oh my gosh, another plane has just hit. It hit another building, flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. My God, it's right in the middle of the building.
This went into the east tower.
Yes, right in the middle of the building.
I was at home getting kids ready for bed, had the news on, and saw that a plane had crashed into one of the towers in New York City.
We heard something happen, and so they turned on our classroom TVs that are hooked up to the system. We just started watching the news, and the first plane had already hit, and then while we were watching it, we saw the second plane hit the second tower.
I actually worked at SeaWorld San Diego, and I was opening that morning, and actually flipped on the news like I normally do when I wake up. And when I woke up, the first plane had already hit, and then I was watching live when the second plane hit. And then as I got to work, I watched on the TVs, at SeaWorld there, both towers collapse. And so it was kind of an eerie feeling working at a place where they eventually closed down and it was apocalyptically empty, working in a massive theme park with nobody in it on a bright sunny day.
It's not only the conflict perpetrated by the extremists, but our response of fear and paranoia, which continues to this day, that is eroding the people that we once were.
I do walking tours of the 9/11 Memorial for the 9/11 Tribute Center. And I meet people on my tours from all four corners of the globe. On every one of my tours, I mention that most people don't remember what they did yesterday. But I have had so many guests on my tours come up to me and say that they remember every single detail about where they were and what they were doing on September 11th, regardless of where they're from.
When you talk to anybody, say, and you tell them where you were on September 11th, they'll tell you exactly where they were, because even though they may not have been in the building, but they'll definitely remember where they were.
People always remember every single moment of that day around the world, because September 11, 2001 is not just New Yorker's story, it's not just my story, but it is international part of history and a history of every single person in the world.
And what I say to my guests all the time is, that's your 9/11 story. And you should tell it, because by telling it, by doing so, you help us to share history, and you help us to keep the spirit of what happened here alive. And I'm inspired by that. That gives me so much hope.
I believe September 11th would be the equivalent of D-Day for certain generations, or Pearl Harbor, or when JFK was assassinated, those seminal, markers in your history, in your lifetime.
My cousin was in Pearl Harbor. My father and grandfather remember Pearl Harbor. These generations will need to remember.
I think it's important to try to remember some tragedies. Remember that life can be very precious and can be gone in a flash.
These are emotional memories that cannot be translated into a textbook. These are stories that we tell people, and hopefully the generation will understand this here and bring it forward to the next generation.
I feel that a lot of people use September 11th to remember the wrong things, to remember the divisions instead of what brought us together. And I think as more and more time goes by, more and more people just remember the hate that caused that act instead of the love that followed it. We were all one that day. People from New York, DC, all over the country and all over the world. Everybody was united. I think that's why everybody remembers where they were, because everybody's heart was here. I remember.
I remember September 11th.
I remember September 11th.
I remember September 11th.
I remember September 11th.
I remember September 11th.